Hey Josh, something else must be going on here because so I've got a panel navigator. It's got a panel one panel card and it's got a list in it. The list has a couple of fields from a SQL table and then a button. The on-click event of the button calls a run action to open a window, and so that's a JavaScript action to show a container window, container one, which I think is what you're doing. And then we've got our container one. Now, an interesting thing here is when the container alignment is set to left, we have some interesting things going on. But I've got 4 buttons here. Each one of the buttons width is set to 100%. There's nothing else going on here, so we've got 4 buttons. They're all doing the same thing. Now, if we go into the window properties, the only thing I changed here was close, click on background, and I took off the window title, which it looks like you were doing as well because you don't have a window title on your sample. Now window height and window width is not set, but if I leave that where it was, let's say we have a setting 2 inches and a width of 3 inches. You said you didn't change anything for the defaults for the windows, so I think the default that's 1 inch and that's 3 inches. So I'm going to leave that the way it is. And now I'm going to go live preview this, but I've actually got this running on an iPad. So I'm just going to fire up the iPad now. And so here it is. Okay, so here we've got an iPad running. There's our list, which is great. Oops, grabbed the wrong thing. So here I am on the iPad and scrolling, so that's okay. So if I punch a button, I certainly get a width of 3 inches. There was no, I think it was a height of 2 inches set, so that's fine. So that's exactly what's going on there, and the button is filling it. So let's go and change a few things now. So we'll come back here, go back into design. I'm going to just change this to center for container alignment and do a preview. And now we're going to go and refresh the iPad. So there we go. And now when we hit a button, now when we click a button, I mean I do get 3 inches for width, but my button is now down to a default button size, which is really interesting. Not what I would have expected. Let's see. Let's go back now and turn off the window properties. Get rid of those altogether. Keep that center. Save it, live preview. Back here, refresh, and click a button. And now we've got a button taking up or window taking up exactly as much space as it needs for the buttons. So that's interesting too. So now if I were to go back here again, container, change this to left, save it, run it, refresh it on the iPad. Button, still the same, exactly the same process. So it seems to me that the only way you can get buttons to be 100% the width of the container window is in window properties if you actually set width and height, and it's got to be both of them, because if I set a window width, even if I set it at 100%, it doesn't make any sense. 100% of what? But if I set this at 3 inches and leave the height alone, let's see where they are there. There we go. So 3 inches. And it doesn't matter what I do with it. I mean, I can turn it. It doesn't matter. I can pull it back up again. It's always left. It's always showing up in the same spot. Does exactly the same thing on the iPhone. So I'm wondering what your settings are for the container window properties and for your container window container alignment. So push that through to the forum, and we can see what else is going on. The other thing you could do is if your component isn't that complicated, you could just post that, and I could work with something that you've actually got going to find out what's going on with that process. Thanks.